Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Think Smart, Speak Fluent podcast, the show where we help you sharpen your mind and master fluent English. I'm your host, MIA, and I'm joined by my brilliant co-host, Alex.
Hey, MIA. Hey, listeners. It's great to be here. Today, we're talking about how to think smart and speak fluent English. These two things go hand in hand because speaking fluently isn't just about knowing words. It's about using them effectively. Alex.
Exactly, Alex. Speaking fluent English means communicating clearly, confidently, and intelligently. And for that, you need the right strategies. So let's dive in. Alex, what's the first step to thinking smart and speaking fluently?
The first step, MIA, is having a growth mindset. You need to believe that you can improve and that fluency is possible with consistent effort. Too often, people get stuck because they think, I'll never be fluent. That mindset holds them back.
Absolutely. Confidence and a positive attitude are key. If you approach English learning as an exciting challenge rather than a chore, you'll stay motivated.
Exactly. And that brings me to the second step. Focus on clarity, not complexity. Many learners think they need to use big words or advanced grammar to sound fluent, but fluency is about being clear and natural.
So true. For example, instead of saying, I am endeavoring to procure sustenance, you can just say, I'm getting food. Simple language is just as effective and often better.
Right. And when you think smart, you focus on getting your message across rather than impressing people with complicated words.
That's a great point, Alex. And it ties into the next step, active listening. To speak fluently, you need to understand how others speak. Pay attention to native speakers, their tone, and the phrases they use in conversations.
Yes, active listening is a game changer. When you listen carefully, you pick up on natural sentence structures, idioms, and even cultural nuances. Plus, it helps you respond appropriately, which is a big part of smart communication.
Absolutely. And to practice active listening, you can listen to podcasts, watch movies, or even observe conversations around you. The more you listen, the more fluent you'll become.
Speaking of practice, MIA, let's talk about speaking habits. What's one habit that helps learners speak fluently?
One of my favorites is shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a sentence and immediately repeating it out loud, trying to match the speaker's tone, rhythm, and pronunciation.
Shadowing is fantastic. It trains your brain to think in English and makes your speech sound more natural. Plus, it's a great way to build confidence.
Exactly. And speaking of confidence, here's another tip: embrace mistakes. Smart learners know that mistakes aren't failures, they're opportunities to learn.
So true. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. And honestly, most people won't even notice your mistakes. They'll be impressed that you're speaking in a second language.
That's such an important reminder. And another way to speak fluently is to use fillers wisely. Alex, do you think fillers like or I mean are bad?
Not at all, MIA. Fillers are natural in conversation. They give you a moment to think while keeping the conversation flowing. But the key is not to overuse them. A few fillers are fine, but too many can make you sound unsure.
Exactly. Fillers are tools, not crutches. And when you use them sparingly, they can actually make your speech sound more natural.
That's a great point. Now, let's talk about vocabulary. What's the smartest way to build a strong vocabulary?
Context is key. Instead of memorizing random words, learn them in context. For example, if you learn the word delicious, pair it with phrases like, this cake is delicious, or, what a delicious meal.
I love that. And another smart tip is to focus on high-frequency words, words you're likely to use every day. These are the building blocks of fluent speech.
Yes. And don't forget to recycle new vocabulary. Use the words you've learned in conversations or writing. Repetition helps them stick in your memory.
Absolutely. And that brings us to one of the most underrated strategies for fluency, thinking in English.
Oh, I love this one. When you think in English, you bypass the need to translate from your native language. This makes your speech faster and more natural.
Exactly. For example, when you see a tree, don't think arbor and then translate it to tree. Just think tree. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes.
Definitely. And here's a fun exercise. Try narrating your day in English. For example, I'm waking up now, or I need to make breakfast. It's a great way to train your brain to think in English.
That's such a smart tip, MIA. And another way to think smart is to set specific goals. For example, instead of saying, I want to be fluent, set a goal like, I want to have a 10-minute conversation in English without stopping.
Yes, specific goals make progress measurable and keep you motivated. And once you achieve a goal, you can set a new one. It's all about building momentum.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up, let's quickly summarize today's tips for thinking smart and speaking fluent English.
Sure. First, have a growth mindset and believe in your ability to improve.
Second, focus on clarity, not complexity. Use simple, clear language to express your ideas.
Third, practice active listening to learn how native speakers communicate.
Fourth, develop smart speaking habits like shadowing and using fillers wisely.
Fifth, build your vocabulary in context and recycle new words to make them stick.
Six, train your brain to think in English and narrate your thoughts in the language.
And finally, set specific, achievable goals to track your progress.
Perfect summary, IA. Remember, speaking fluent English is a journey. It takes time, practice, and smart strategies. But with consistency, you'll get there.
Absolutely. Thank you all for listening to the Think Smart, Speak Fluent podcast. If you found today's episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends.
And if you have questions or topics you'd like us to cover, reach out to us. Until next time, keep thinking smart and speaking fluent. Bye.
Bye, everyone.